Hello.
Really good quality. Oh
Hi.
God, mine looks dark. Hi, Laura. You look good in blue.
Thank you. It's so exciting. I went to the inspection of the equipment, so I got dressed like a grown-up.
I know. How often do you do that these days?
Right.
Shirts with these holes are stupid. Tina looks good. Did you blow dry that hair today?
I did. Thank you.
I didn't realize we were going to be critiqued on our hair, Randy.
Oh, God.
I don't like looking at myself though.
I know it's always hard. Oh my God. I think we have this image of ourselves being much younger.
Yet we're constantly surprised.
You're right. I don't know why I have all this glare. I can turn off this light in my face.
More light.
So is everyone's kids kind of in school, or have some of them in quarantine home again?
Middle school just shut down.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, Aiden is officially quarantined, but they closed the whole school.
The whole school?
6, 7, 8. Let's see. The only grades going to school are kindergarten, 3rd, 4th, and the high school right now. Everybody else is at home. So,
Is it for 2 weeks?
yes, could they go back? I think the 19th. So,
Are the teachers teaching from school or from home?
home. I believe home. But I don't know for sure. It was good while it lasted.
Hmm.
Good, thank God.
Tina, your kids are in school?
Yeah, but we're only doing half days. Like Rhinex was doing full days.
Right.
I wonder if that's the difference. Like, I'm happy they're not having lunch at school.
That makes sense.
I think what happened was, like, in the 8th grade, there was a child in one of the cohorts, but unfortunately that child exposed all the teachers. So now there were basically no teachers to teach.
Oh, wow.
So they decided just to keep everybody home.
Oh, my God.
Even splitting them up didn't preserve school for the other half.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's one of the
Oh, because
problems-
it's the same teachers, right?
right. That's one of the problems in Rye Neck is that there's so few teachers. Everybody has the same ones.
And the 8th grade teachers teach the 6th grade, and the 6th grade teachers teach the 7th grade, and so,
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
yeah. My son, who's at Iona, though, they're doing very well. They've had a few instances of the brothers being quarantined, but then they just teach from home, and there's no issue. The kids still just learn whether they're at school or at home. So that's been working well, at least one.
So let's see, who else do we have? Oh, there's Charles. Hi, Charles. And there's Kathleen. Okay, do we have enough to get started?
Dan told me he's going to be late.
We didn't get responses from anyone other than Dan, who said he was going to be late. He told us that, but that no one else responded that they weren't not coming. So
Now, everyone knows Emily moved, right?
Oh, no, I didn't.
She resigned. She sent a resignation letter in.
She moved? She left
Yeah.
the village?
Yes.
Yep, they moved to Norwalk.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
okay, Cindy's here, promoted to panelist. Okay, good.
So that's 5. That's good.
Okay, just before we start, just let me know when we're ready to start, Randy, so I can put it on the YouTube. Just let me know so I can, when you're ready, and then I'll be streaming live.
Say that again?
Let me know when you're ready to start so I can stream it live right before you do. I got to put it on, it will go live on YouTube, but I just let me know when you're ready and then I'll put it up.
Okay. I just want to pull up the agenda before I say another word. October 2020. There we go. All right, well, I guess we can get started.
Okay, give us give us 1 second. It's preparing the stream. Okay, Randy, we're good.
So welcome everyone to the October Rec Board meeting. It's once again virtual, so we're all together, however, and anyone else who joins us, Jason will invite them in. So I think the first thing we should do is approve the minutes from last month. And I know those were sent out by Charles. So, does anyone have any correction or additions, or should or is there a motion to approve the minutes as they are? Does everyone want a couple minutes to review them? Or you think you're okay? Just unmute yourselves.
I wasn't there last week or last month, so I can't comment.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Okay, so Tina made a motion. Does someone want? Okay, I'll second it. All those in
Sorry,
favor?
I second
of
it.
approving the
Sorry.
minutes
My-
as,
We got a little lag, I think, in our connection.
Mhm.
okay, so Cindy seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can we see?
Aye.
everybody? Aye. Okay, so any opposed? Okay, so the minutes are approved. So we have a good number of things on the agenda tonight. I was wondering if Jason, just to start off, would want to talk about the Gunder Boom and any other issues that are on his plate before we go into any other items that take a lot of discussion.
So if we want, we want to start off with the Gunder Room. That's great. Did you guys happen to open up the link that contains the photos?
Yes.
All right, I'll share my screen just so we're all on the same page. Okay. So, as I'm sure a lot of you know, we have a Gunder Boom at the beach, and it supposedly protects the swimming area. The Gunder Boom is quite old. I've been told like 20 years or older, and it's worn out. It's seen better days. So you guys can you guys see the pictures on my screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay.
Yes. Can you open it up, or is it just you're showing them all at once?
The Gunder Boom is from about 2008.
2008 was installed.
It was $1,000.
Randy, I think you're breaking up a little bit. I can't hear you.
Oh, I know. I should go to another room. This room has a lousy internet connection. Here, I'll make it better. You'll see. You'll see this is better. So it's from 2008. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, this Wi-Fi is better in this room.
So we're about 20 years or so. And as you can see from the pictures, I don't know if you looked at them, there's quite a few. I've been taking quite a few, and it's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about this with Jerry and the village manager. If you want to put a new Gunder Boom in, it's about $500,000.
Wow.
That's the price it was last time.
Right, that's just about what it costs, somewhere right around there. And our Gunder Boom is falling apart. The harbor master has looked at it, so it's missing. It's starting to fall apart. So if you can see in this picture here, we're getting these big breaks in between. We go to another one. You can see it on that side. That's from the air. So it's breaking here, here. Here's an overview of it. The boom is coming out of shape now.
Jason, can you click on the pictures to make them bigger? Like they're all tiny.
You see, they're so
They're all
tiny.
thumbnails.
Oh,
That's
there's
what I
thumbnail.
just said before.
I'm seeing something different than you. Hold on.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to enlarge it individually.
Yep, that's what I was saying before. I said, are you just gonna zoom in or?
Oh, because I can't see. It looks like I'm looking at something else.
Oh, I see.
When I'm on my Zoom, I don't.
You have to change tabs or like your little tab at the top so we can see it as well.
Okay, let's go.
Share
to-
screen. See that little share screen? The green thing at the bottom?
There it
Oh,
is.
there we go.
That's it.
All right, can you see me scrolling through or
Yes.
as I go through now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's cool.
so you guys can't see, but I was pointing to it so you could see these breaks are in it. This is one from the air. You could see this one. I mean,
That's
that's
a
how
big one.
wide that's how wide it is that it's that visible from above. And as you
Mhm.
let me find, you can see here's one up close of the break. So it's basically like this, it's got this like rubber, like really hard rubberish coating on the outside, like a sleeve. And then on the inside is this big plastic thing that keeps it buoyant. And then it's anchored down by these mushroom anchors here, which are starting to come up and fall apart. So let me show you an up close picture of it. So there's one up close. This is one that came apart that the harbor master had to remove in August. You can see where, you see that was round. That was like an eyeball, and it's gone now.
Excuse me,
so-
Jason, sorry. Carrie Sergio is trying to get in to the Zoom.
Uh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, it's falling apart. It's rusted out. The water goes over the boom. Here's a good photo. It's coming over the boom on high tide, so it's not even doing what it was intended to do. It was intended to keep large debris out. It was intended to keep the fecal chloride matter. So when it rains a lot, we have to close the beach because like the fecal matter goes up from runoff. So it was supposedly put in place back then, right, Randy, if I'm wrong, to try to keep the beach closed less often than it was
Absolutely.
during rainstorms, except it's just not doing that anymore. How could it when the water's going over the boom? So,
What's it
That
cost
has-
to take it out?
so it's gonna cost probably 30,000, but the money's already been allocated for Gunder Boom removal or repair from 2000, late 2010, something like that range, where the village had a PO and they still have an active PO, and the money is held over to remove or repair it. The harbor master tells me it's beyond repair at this point.
It looks beyond repair to a logical person, I think.
And I mean, look, all
Yeah.
the netting is coming up.
What do you
Ropes
need
are
us to
everywhere.
do? Do you need us to approve expending the money, Jason?
Well, no, it's gonna go to the board, but I felt like it should come to the PRC first, so you're aware. You know, in the link with the folder, I've put in the beach samples for the last 5 years or so. So you could see, and then if you want, I'll just read, we asked an opinion from the public health sanitarian from the county. And I'll just read what their opinion was. per our discussions regarding removing the Gundarbum, he attached 3 years of beach samples, which are provided to you. And his analysis of those samples were that the Harbor Island inside and outside of the Gundarbum, sometimes the outside is better, sometimes the inside is better. Although the inside is, in very general terms, slightly lower for samples, if you take a look at the geometric mean for the 5 consecutive samples, which is the last number in the box, but that's on the chart, the inside is slightly lower than the outside. But in general terms, he's saying it's pretty close, that he doesn't think, I don't think there'll be a huge issue with having to close the water more often if we take it out. That was our biggest concern when we're looking at, obviously something needs to be done. $500,000 to install a new one is quite a hefty bill. And if we're not going to get the result we're looking for by not having to close the water when it rains heavy, then why are we doing this? We're closing the water now 6, 7, 8 times a year. So is it preventing anything? To me, it just doesn't seem logical, but that's why it's on for discussion. So everyone else.
Any discussion anyone has to say?
So Jason, it sounds like you're saying that the Gundarbum hasn't been doing much for the last 3
Right.
years based on the samples, right? Is that because it's been broken, or you don't think it's not?
So I think there's probably a few factors. In my opinion, the water quality over the last 5 years has improved compared to where it was 5 years ago. I think there's a lot more focus on the environment, on our water quality. We have local organizations like Save the Sound that are constantly monitoring it and looking for ways to improve our water quality. I think also that because the boom hasn't gotten regular maintenance, and since I've been working here, that all these holes are not doing anything. If the water's coming over and there's giant rips in it, then it's not doing what it was intended to do. There's leaks, and so yeah. We don't really have, like, I can't tell you, oh, if that boom was in there since I've been working there and it was completely secure, that we wouldn't close the water. I think we probably would be closing it regardless, but.
I think you have to close it after a heavy rain. There are plenty of places that don't have a Gundarbum and still have to close their waterfront
Right.
after a heavy rain.
I think so. We close it. You would have to close it probably no matter what for 24 hours. But when the county comes and tests and they get a high sample and it won't go away after a storm, and it takes 3, 4, 5 days, and that sample keeps staying high. I think we had issues. I don't have the full historical knowledge, but I think the village had issues with having to keep the beach closed for entire seasons because of this issue. But the Gundarbum, I don't think was any reason that it prevented us from. I don't think it's preventing anything. But
I just sent an article. The Gundarbum was very effective when it was first installed, because our beach is like sort of inside the harbor. It's so protected. It's not like the beaches in Rye or even the beaches on the other side of Mamaroneck and in Larchmont. It's through a channel. So I think that so we were having more beach closings because there wasn't a lot of wash. And I think when the Gundarbum was first installed, it was very effective, but it's not been maintained.
yeah.
And they
$500,000 for 12 years. That's a lot of money.
All right, so does everyone think that it's probably a good idea just to get rid of it? And, that certainly the village doesn't have $500,000 to spend on a what-if scenario. So let's just see, how it goes next year.
And I think it's going to go on a work session for the board to ultimately approve, because, I'm sure, I don't know, I'm sure the public might be interested in this topic, so, yeah. But it's good.
So
to start.
Jason, do you want a vote from us that we support, so you can, and Nora, then you can say the rec board agreed with the removal of the Gundarbum?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know that we really have, I don't have enough information to make that kind of have that kind of an opinion. Like, I don't really know, I mean, if it was effective when it first was installed, but it hasn't been maintained, do we know
Well,
that it wouldn't be effective if it were replaced? I don't know that.
Have the money to replace it, so that's a non-issue, non-starter.
I mean, it was
Well-
installed in 2000, it was initially installed in 2002, so it's coming up on 30 years.
Oh, I thought you said 2008, sorry.
No, it's been
And,
some time.
right, so, but I think there's a larger issue of, you know, whether or not we need a Gunder boom and whether or not we can afford a Gunder boom are two separate things.
Right.
But I guess the question is this Gunder boom providing any kind of protection? Or is it because some people have had, it's potentially a danger as well, I think. Is that what Jason's saying?
Well, I don't know if it's a danger per se. I think it's just eventually it's going to come apart and it could become a danger. I don't think right now it's a danger. I don't think it's from what I talked to the harbor master, it's not going to cut loose and float
No,
away.
I
or
thought-
something.
I guess there were some of those that people, you were worried that people could cut themselves in parts.
Like
Oh,
all those
yes.
mushrooms.
On the mushrooms, yes, the exposed mushrooms as they start, they're sharp, and then also like you could see the thing is filled with like bird droppings. It's
Mhm.
got
This is-
gaping holes.
I think we should just all,
but-
regardless, I just think we should all agree that it's a good thing just to get rid of it. Because it's, you know, it's not
Hazardous.
operable and hazardous, right?
So get rid of the existing one, and whether or not it gets replaced is a separate issue.
Correct.
Well, listen, I think the existing one needs some serious help. If we're gonna, I don't even know if it is replaceable. The people who I talk to tell me it's not. I'm not an expert on Gunder booms. But if
But it has been 30 years.
it has been 30 years and it's, as you can see, it's in bad shape.
And it has been repaired over the years.
It has been repaired over the years. It hasn't been, I have never seen it personally get repaired in my years here. So I don't know when the last time it's been repaired.
How many years have you been here?
Almost
Five?
like 4.5, almost 5, almost. Not quite,
Okay.
but close.
You've aged.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. All right, so we've had that discussion. Anything else? Okay,
That's not
so-
the Gunner boom. I mean, I don't know if we want to, what consensus we want to come to. I want to discuss it. I know I can try to get more information. I mean, I got as much information as I could find on backup for tonight from different sources, but we can look at it
and
again.
Carrie, before you got here, did you look at some of the pictures? 'Cause
Yeah, no, I could see it. I just wasn't in on the meeting. I could see
Okay,
the meeting, I
okay.
just wasn't actually
Jason,
in
you
there
could
yet.
see it. Okay.
So I'm just looking at a quick Google search and looking at on researchgate.net. There was an article back in 2009 that Manhattanville College did, and it looks like they said that the results from a study they did showed that concentrations of E. coli and total coliform bacteria in water and sediments were significantly lower inside the Gunderboom when compared to the other sites, so that the Gunderboom has the potential to reduce bacteria, both beach and water sediment. So if it was functioning properly, it is, I think, a benefit, but the fact that the one we have is in disarray and may not even be able to be repaired obviously isn't doing anything.
And that
Correct.
study was done in 2009, so.
Right.
It was.
And I think the water samples for the last 3 years that the county does show that it's not doing anything, not because of the Gunderboom design, but because of the gaping holes in it.
The condition
Right.
it's in.
Right, the condition that it's in. If it was working, I'm sure it would be, how could it not? You know,
Well,
it's,
how do you how would it have to have been maintained? Like why was it just left to rot? Like, I don't know how do you maintain a Gunderboom?
I can't say, because I haven't been in this seat for that long. But I imagine that they would have a vendor, like the Gunderboom has a vendor that comes in and does the yearly maintenance. I would imagine that it's just part of like a contract service, that there was some sort of yearly maintenance done. Why it hasn't been done in so long, I can't say. But it was been in disarray for the last 4 years, at least since I've known it.
Right.
4.5 years, so.
How long is it supposed to last? Like, is it way beyond its time anyway?
I would say it's got to have a probably 25 to 30 year lifespan. I mean, if you do regular maintenance, maybe longer. But that's
Well,
the issue. It could have been still going if we did regular maintenance.
Jason, you want to go on to the county pier?
We got to do the fee schedule for sure.
Okay, so let's cut to
Yeah.
the front, to the fee schedule.
Right, because I'm sure everyone has questions about or changing things, and so I just want to, because we have to get
Jason,
that.
can you just highlight for us what, if any, changes you made from the prior one? Because
Yeah, they're highlighted in purple, but I'll read them down because there's not
I
that many.
printed in
Okay?
black and white.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now because everything is the same from what we previously approved, except the following. Okay.
Okay,
Parking, go down to Harbor Island Park, seasonal parking Friday before Memorial Day to Labor Day.
uh-huh,
The first item, parking placard per car, 45 and 92. We changed that one. We brought that one up. And that
From
was
what?
that was from 41 and 82. And that was to, we increased our seasonal beach passes last year, but we didn't increase the seasonal parking placards
okay.
last year. So that would increase that. I don't know how we missed that or what happened. So that was that change to coincide with the beach. The next one is the beach, Stephen E. Johnson beach fees.
Yep.
Next box down. The last three, adult daily pass, child daily pass, and senior daily pass. We didn't change the fee. It's still saying $8, but if you guys have ever used a credit card in the village, when you use the LexisNexis, they charge you a $2.50 processing fee or a $3 processing fee. So we raised the price. We're not going to be using that vendor anymore. So we're going to go to a different vendor, and then that would be a better POS system for us. And we're going to increase the price for credit card to reflect that, because that vendor they won't charge it to the consumer. You know what I'm saying? They won't
Okay,
charge.
so if you use a credit card, the price is gonna go up.
Yes, but it won't go up in theory, because if you used a credit card, it was still, this year, if you used a credit card, it was $11 because they were charging the fee, but it was getting passed. It would be listed as a processing fee. So we would put in $8 in the machine, and then it would be LexisNexis service charge fee, $3, and it would come out to 11.
Okay,
But now if we go to like a PayPal or a Square, we need something more updated that's contactless and user friendly. If we go to one of those services, they won't charge the consumer the fee, and the village wants to do that. So then we have to increase the credit card fee up, and we'll keep the cash fee at what it normally was.
Okay, what else?
The rest of them are some programs, not that we changed the price of them, that they're new programs. So they're a new fee. So that's why they would have been in purple in the highlights. Kayaking camp pricing, sunset tour kayaking, a naturalist tour we added, a soccer clinic, a 4-day soccer clinic, Zumba kids, a Zumba family, a youth basketball program, and a paint night on the deck. So those were new things that we added on programs that you wouldn't have seen in the previous year's fee schedule because they weren't created yet. And that's it. Everything else was the same as last year.
Why is the harbor playgroup still in there? I thought that wasn't around
It's
anymore.
just, we have fees from years. It's not in there because we're going to run it. It's in there because it's just been one of the fees we have programs that we may or may not run that are in here, and their fees in here, but it's not because we're going to run the program.
Okay.
It's just in there.
I think we should take it out.
Okay. I have no problem doing that. that's the way you guys want to go.
Agreed.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk about the day camp fees? I know we talked about possibly simplifying them. I didn't touch them, but if you want to discuss that, I'm willing to discuss that with you all.
Can I just ask another question first? On the classes that are offered with a contractor, like Zumba Kids or, I don't know, any of the other ones, do those fees go, they go to the village and you pay the instructor a set fee?
We pay the instructor, so if it's a service agreement, like a contractor, like you're saying, it's an 80-20. Contractor gets 80, the village gets 20, and we do a service
Okay.
agreement. They have to provide us with their insurance and
Okay.
do the whole,
So they get a
paperwork.
percentage of whatever you charge?
yeah, so.
They don't get like a flat fee per class or
No,
whatever?
they don't. We get 20% of the costs,
Okay.
and they get 80.
Jason, did the camp fees change from last year, or you said no?
No, we didn't have we didn't have a camp the year, so the year prior, no. There's the same that when we approved this last
What
go
we
around.
would have charged this year?
We didn't raise, last year we didn't raise, and the year prior we didn't raise. We raised my first year, so it was 3 years ago, but we didn't have camp last year, so we have no data to look at.
Right. So I know I missed the discussion, I guess, last year because it happened before I got on the Parks and Rec Commission, but I think I had mentioned it. A real bone of contention is that sibling discount fee, which is basically in effect $2 now that there is a fee for the credit card payment. So I think we need to come up with something better, because having to pay $30 per registration, not per family, and then you only get a $32 sibling discount, you're really not getting a discount. While the employee discount is 50% off. So kind of seems like there's a big imbalance there as far as that discount and the credit card fee and what employees get. It's, you know that there are village employees whose 2 kids are going for the price of 1, which fine, but I think based on the fact that there is a credit card fee per camper registration, not per family, and you only get a $32 sibling discount, I think that needs to be addressed and fixed.
I just have to say, I never thought the sibling discount was enough.
It's not.
What do other camps offer for the sibling discount? Do we know?
A lot don't offer anything at all. But I agree, $30 is sort of ridiculous.
I mean, it's not even like, I don't know. I know when I had asked last time, I'm like, that's not even like a rounded, it's not even like 5%. It's like, and I don't even know what it's based off of. And nobody seemed to know where that number even came from. Maybe it came from an old registration fee and it was a percent of that. And as fees went up, the discount never did. I don't really know. But $32 it's nothing to give people when now there's, especially now that there's the credit card fee, which there never used to be.
Well, what do you propose?
What about 5%
Of the
of whatever you
registration
pay?
fee?
Yeah. At least
Yeah,
there's a
I just-
rhyme or reason.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we need to come up with something that just seems more reasonable, and $32 is just, I don't know, it's just such an odd number. And
So
you
can I
kind of look
just-
at it and you go,
Can I-
well,
before
what
we
is
You have
that?
to look at the
Can I just
impact.
give you the facts? Let me just tell you what the numbers were from 2018 on how much money. So sibling discounts cost, if we did not give any sibling discount whatsoever, we would have had another $2,000 in revenue. So that's that. Employees, the 50% employee discount, $23,462.
You give them a huge discount. It's 2 kids for the price of 1.
Early bird pricing discount, 26,000. That's if you sign up before.
Yep.
A certain period in March. Scholarships, $3,700.
So
I think-
Jason, bumping it from 32 to say, $45 or $50 is not going to have a huge impact on the bottom line.
I don't think so. I
No, you
mean,
can do the
we were-
math. I mean,
We're right about
It
break.
won't.
We're right about break even now. I mean, I don't think it will.
no, it won't,
There's-
unless you have a
there's-
huge increase in siblings.
Which we won't. It will always be around the same average it always is, since I've seen it.
How about
so this-
$50? Does that sound like
62.
reasonable?
We gave out 62 sibling discounts last year. It's always going to hover right around there. Every year it's 62, 67, 49, whatever. It's somewhere around there, right?
Or
I
how
like the
about
idea of
100?
5%, just because.
And
So if you go
say-
to 50,
if you go to 50, that's just
it's
over
another
5%.
$1,100 maybe, something like that.
Carrie,
So
what do you-
if you, I mean, and mind you, I'm like fighting for this, and I'm not even gonna have a sibling next year because Tyler he's gonna be too old to go to camp. Hopefully he'll be a counselor. But it's like that $32 is just, it's silly. It's a silly
well,
amount.
just
I'm sorry it
propose what
is.
you want.
So I would say well, if you do 5%, is it 5% of what you pay, or is it a 5% of like the regular registration fee, or do you just want to say
It has to be a
$50
flat
and make it
fee.
easy?
We can't do a percentage. It has to be, you can
Oh,
base.
so then
we
just
also-
raise it to 50 and move
Then I
on.
would say
Just you have to
raise it
give a
to
flat fee.
$50. I would say
Fine.
raise it to $50. At least that feels like you're getting something. At least to me it does. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I feel like $50 at least, it still doesn't cover the credit card fee if you've got 2 siblings, but at least it feels like it's more. You know what I mean?
So let's make it 60, then it's kind of covering the credit card fee.
Well, listen, we didn't.
Not if you
cover
have
our
4
credit-
kids.
Let me just talk
Yeah.
about the credit, let me just say something about the credit card fee real quick.
We're not making that money.
We took 9,000.
No.
We took in $9,180 from all the $30 we got from everybody. The credit cards ended up costing us $11,529.
Cover it.
We didn't cover it. We didn't even get close to, we're off by thousands from covering it. So I'm just throwing out the numbers so you know.
So we
So
never
increase the credit card fee too, Jason. No, I mean, we shouldn't be subsidizing the credit card company.
I get it. Now, bleh. We
Those
used
who
to
don't
pay.
use the credit card.
I've paid by credit card before, and there was not a fee a few years ago by credit card, and then all of a sudden there was a fee. Is that because that you guys had just started charging a fee to try to
Yeah, because we were
pay
losing.
for part of it?
Yeah, we were
Like you
losing
always-
$12,000 a year, so we decided that we should charge a processing fee to recoup some of those
Some of it.
losses. Yeah,
And
Okay, but the
we
fee was always there. You guys always got charged that fee for the credit
Always.
card
No.
registration?
Yeah.
yes. We
Okay.
always get charged that. For Camp Doc, yes. Always, for
we did-
camp registration.
We did that instead of raising the camp fee. We had a discussion about raising the camp fees and we decided against raising it, but we needed to somehow get that money back from the credit cards. So we wanted to be more open about it and show that it was for the credit cards.
And it's not just for the credit card, it's the fact that we're using a program that processes the forms for us, right? Jason,
It's because of Camp Doc?
Camp Doc processes all those forms for us, which is a huge labor savings. Like if we had to pay people to do that, I mean, I did that for my daughter's camp. It's a remarkable amount of work.
No, I mean,
So-
now we have an iPad, we can find medical records and you
Yeah.
can give certain people privileges. It's like the greatest invention of camp history, in my
So-
opinion.
Is it
Yeah.
really a credit card fee or is it the camp? Is it
No,
the
the Camp Doc fee is separate. Camp Doc who just charges us $4 a kid, which
Yeah,
is
that's a
completely-
separate fee.
But that's their service fee. Camp Doc does not get the credit card fees. Their credit card processor, whoever they use, is the one who's taking those fees.
Okay,
So it's two separate fees. The Camp Doc fee is like $1,400, but it's $4 a kid, right? So it's not.
Listen,
It's-
if you
I
use
think
a
it's
credit card,
unfair.
you should cover the fee. You know, I don't think, I honestly think it might encourage people to use a check. You know, if you pay your
We're not
water
allowed
bill
to use the
online, if
checks.
you use a credit card, you have to pay the fee.
But when you register, you have to use a credit card.
No, it will
That's the
take a check. It will
No,
take
you
a
put in
check.
your check information.
It takes a, if people do ACH, it's like 1.5%. It's
Hmm.
significantly less than like the 3.75% that a credit card is. If you put your check in there, which it does have that option. It says check or credit card.
So if someone registered, I didn't know this, if someone registers for camp and they choose to use the ACH instead of the credit card, they don't get charged the $30 credit
Oh,
card fee?
no, they do.
Oh, forget
They do.
that then.
Okay,
It
that's what I'm
doesn't-
saying. It's no
Because
different.
it's not a calculation. It'd be great if we could just tell Camp Doc, please charge whatever the percentage is extra. So if it costs Carrie $20 in credit card fees, it will charge you 20, but it can't do that. So that's why we just came up with a $30 number to try to get some of that money back and call it a credit card processing fee. That's our own fee that we created, that the Camp Doc people implemented for us. It's not a
Okay.
calculation based off the math. They don't have that capability.
Okay, that's what I thought when Kristen said you could, I was like, well, I never saw where
Yeah,
I wouldn't get
so
charged a
Jason, we
fee.
don't actually call it a credit card processing fee, right? Because if I paid by a check, I'd be pretty perturbed if you were charging me a credit card processing fee.
No, I think it's
We
just
call
called
it something else,
No, I
right?
think it's,
called processing fee.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
processing fee.
Okay.
Right. I think on Camped Up, but I'll make sure that it's listed as processing fee. Now, some people have the theory that you could just, if it's a $30 processing fee, just build it into the camp price so that way people don't feel like you're, like nickel and diming them type thing. You could do it either way. You can list it out where it clearly says camp is X dollars, processing fee is 30, or you can create it together and just say, this is what it costs. And then they don't know that there's a $30 additional fee for credit cards. It's harder for us to track that, but it's 100%. You can do that too.
You're doing it this way. I think we should stick with it.
Okay.
All right, so can we have a motion unless there's any other discussion? Did we agree to the $50? Is that the number go ahead,
Yes.
Cindy.
No, I agree. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Carrie has her hand up.
He has great resolution. So Jason, would you like us to make a motion to approve the fees with the change of the $50 for the sibling charge?
Is everyone comfortable? Does anyone have questions?
So
Well,
I'll make,
I brought it up, so I'm comfortable.
okay, so
Trustee
Carrie,
Lucas,
why
you
don't
have
you make the
questions?
motion?
It's going to go to the board next, so I just want to make sure we're all comfortable. All right.
Okay, so wait.
Yes.
So Carrie make a motion. Would somebody second it?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to increase the camp sibling discount fee from $32 to $50.
Second.
I second it.
Oh, we all second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My hand fades in and out.
Because you have a fake background.
I do, it's a picture I took of the harbor.
At the harbor, yeah.
Okay, so all those in favor, looks like it's approved. Anyone against it? Okay, so the $50 increase for the sibling camp fee, and then let's approve the entire fee structure so that we can send it to the Board of Trustees. So would someone like to make a motion for that? Let's have Kathleen Gallagher make that motion. I want everybody's names on the minute. So Catherine Gallagher made that motion somehow. And Tina, do you want to second it? Tina seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so the fees are approved and they'll be sent to the Board of Trustees for their review and stamp of approval.
Thank you.
And I really want to thank you because Carrie, I do think that was something that has bothered me for a long time, frankly.
Yeah, I'm just sorry I won't be able to take advantage of it next year. But
Many of the good things you
it's the
do-
greater good. I'm looking out for the little people.
I always felt people with multiple children deserved a bit more of a break than that.
It's look, most, I would say the majority of people have more than one kid at camp. So I think it'll be a good benefit and a nice surprise when they see the sibling discount was increased.
Thanks for bringing it up.
They'll be so happy there is camp, they probably won't care.
Probably wouldn't. They'd be like, hallelujah.
Let's be truthful.
At this point, they'll pay anything to get them in
That's
camp.
exactly right.
2021, yeah, please.
Oh,
Randy, can we go to that event request?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give a brief. I'm just pulling up my papers. So the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, they've been doing the walk. Well, they normally do a walk. They've been doing it since I've been here, many years. This year, obviously, because of the pandemic, they can't have their 500-person walk in the harbor like they normally do. But they still wanted to do something small, so they came up with a proposal they want to set up a few different tent stations and have people come by alphabetical letter, 50 at a time, which is the gathering limit, and go through the stations and pick up their goodie bag or whatever and do their charitable work. And they want to do that on October 17th. They will pay us $600 for the few hours that they'll be here. And they gave us a safety plan. Seems pretty safe. I reviewed it. The 50-person gathering limit is a rule that they will follow, that they have to follow. So they have improved their insurance, has been approved by the village. So that's good.
So wait, I'm confused. They have tents and 50 people come at a time, and do they linger or are they
No,
just?
they have they put a station up, I guess they do something with beads or whatever. One station will be a bead. They'll give them the beads in a plastic bag. Then they'll go to the next station. And then once they finish all the stations and they do what they do, then they're going to leave. And then there'll be a buffer period. And then another group will come in. And then another group. I think there's 3 total groups based off the alphabet.
And how long is that?
3 hours total, the event is. So they starts at 8:30 and they're out of here before lunchtime, before noon.
Okay.
They're in 3 hours.
And if the governor changes the recommendations to less than 50, they know they'd have to cancel.
Yeah.
Because we just, that could happen.
If that happens, then we're going to have to cancel. And they're well aware that if it was approved, that there could be a change at any time.
Yeah.
And they know that. I think everyone knows that. So.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Any questions? Well, I think they're being kind of inventive to still host their event in a safe way. It's certainly a really good cause. So I'd make a motion. Jason, you need us to approve this, right? I'd make a motion to approve that. Would someone
Yeah.
like to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor? Anyone against? Okay, so that is carried. To
No.
approve that, Jason, so you can let them know.
Okay.
You want to talk about the pier now? That's our last item.
Did that.
Okay. So the pier is a long, drawn-out process. I gave you guys a lot of paperwork. I read through it all. You can't make sense of some of the stuff. I don't know how old some of those maps are, but I talked to the gentleman from the county, Mr. Fuccinello, who is kind of heading up the project with the village. And he's telling me that they have one last approval from the New York State Department of State for New York on the outfall jetty. And then once that gets approved, which they hope will be soon, that they'll be the next building season, which the county tells me is this April. But once again, it all stems on what the county, as long as they get that approval from the state to move forward, because I think that's the last approval. There has been hurdles. I think the state DEC asked them to the county to relook at their plan, and that was in like 2006 or something. And then now they got all those details taken care of. I think HCZM looked at it. It's very hard for me to know the full story because I get so many different bits and pieces. But from reading through the documents, that's the way it sounds to me. Maybe somebody else has more knowledge than I do. But when I spoke to the man on the phone, he says, once we get this approval, that project will be starting that next building season. It is a priority for the county and it needs to be restored because that is a backup outfall jetty.
But is there a chance with the budget issues and money that it could get cut? Do we have any idea?
No, the money, I asked that question to him because I had the same concern as you. He said the money's already been allocated. It's been allocated for many years. And I think from my understanding, there's been a lot of delays in the project. It should have been completed a few years ago. Like, I think they've been at it since 2004, I want to say.
Yeah, all of that paperwork looked like it was very
Very old.
Very
like
old,
2004, 2005, like
There's a lot of hiccup. There was a lot of, with the plans and the environmental conservation folks, there was a lot of issues from what I'm told. And it seems like it's back on track now as soon as they get this last approval from the Department of State.
And where are the funds coming from to rehab the pier? Is it county funds? Is it village funds?
County-
Is it a combination?
County funds.
All
So,
county.
Yeah, we're not paying a dime. As you can see, the village did agree to let the county use the land near the flagpole and behind the shop, behind the Parks Department shop, as a staging area. So that agreement is in the paperwork, and in some time they greatly allowed them, so that way when they do start construction, that they would stage in that area, work on the pier. And that's the most up to date I got when I spoke to the gentleman a few weeks back.
You're just updating us to let us know about it. There's no decision we can make other than to be aware of it and put the approval in our prayers.
No, I realize that. I'm curious because that was one of the sites we looked at for the dog park. So it definitely is something we should be aware of. When does he think that the state is going to give the final clearance?
He said before the next building season, because that's when they want to start. So when I asked him what he defined as building season, he says when the thaw stops and they can dig. So
Spring.
Spring, March, April. He's saying he hopes to have the approval before the next building season. So that would be this winter.
So that they could start in the spring.
He didn't give me a month, but that's how I interpreted it. So they can start in the next building season, which is this spring.
And it would be, they project it not to be a quick project. It's a multi-year project.
I think
Right.
2 years. 2 years.
I thought Jerry said 4, so.
Oh, 4? Wow.
And did they decide, does the county decide on the final plan? Because I saw in some of the older stuff, there were like 3 different plans that they had drawn up. Who decides that, the county or the village?
Those have been decided and they've been approved, so it doesn't matter who decided. I think
Okay.
that it had to get consistency with the LWRP, and so our HCZM they looked at it several years ago. They had to make sure it was consistent with our LWRP, so the state could make the determination that it was consistent. So I think the plans were done in conjunction with the village and the county, but at this stage, if
They're
we were
done.
to, yeah, they're done. Yeah.
And I know there was also a redo of the plans. That was what the longer hiccup was, right? Because the DEC wanted them to change something
Right.
on the outfall. And then
Right.
that, which they did change, the county did change, which took some time to redo the plans. And then now they're waiting for one last approval. They would have, and honestly, this is what the county told me, this would have been done years ago if the state and the local and the county where everyone was on the same page and figured it out. But it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate.
Okay,
But
well,
it's fortunate, it's good that it's getting done.
Yeah, which
We'll
I-
see, right?
I'm optimistic, and I think it's going to be like a beautiful asset to the park that to be able to walk out. I think it's going to be awesome. when
Yeah.
it's done.
agreed. I think it's lovely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Beautiful.
And it certainly can be enhanced and improved.
Absolutely. I think it's underutilized right now. I mean, anytime I've walked out there, you really don't see many people. Some people just really just walk to the path and back, but it could be so much more. I agree.
So much more. Yeah.
So, do you want to have oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So do you want to end the meeting, or do you want to have a brief update on anything from the dog park?
Here, a few minutes on the dog park,
Okay, shoot.
I'm in a meeting.
like 3 or less.
It's okay. Give us your 3-minute version.
Who do you want to give the version?
Whoever wants to.
Someone who's on the committee.
Go ahead, Carrie. You made the spreadsheet.
So we looked at 4 different lots. We looked at Taylor's Lane. We looked at the small piece adjacent to Taylor's Lane on Greenhaven Road. We looked at the property behind the flagpole by the pier, and we looked at Rushmore. And I kind of just put together a spreadsheet of the pros, cons kind of a thing, what the situation is, how big the properties are, if there's any NIMBY issues, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of, we have to discuss it again on the dog park subcommittee. But the general consensus, I think that we kind of got from everybody there was that nobody wants to really wait around for Taylor's Lane to be cleared. The Greenhaven lot would probably be the most costly of the 4 lots because of the amount of clearing that lot needs. It's also right up on the road. And that left us with the 2 Harbor Island sites, which were by the flagpole and the Rushmore side around the West Basin. All of us that went and looked at them, we all really liked both of those spots. The county pier is obviously an issue because if they're going to redo that pier, we don't want to wait 4 years to put a dog park in. I personally think that we're leaning more towards Rushmore. We think the NIMBY issue may not be as big of a problem since dogs are already allowed there anyway. They're just allowed on leash, so it's not really a stretch to have to fence it. Parking could easily be created there. There's certainly enough space, and it's certainly big enough.
I think one of the things we have to, we don't necessarily create parking spaces in a park. I mean, we can't take parkland for parking spaces, so the parking would have to be, the parking, if there were a thing at Rushmore, the parking would be the parking that we have in Harbor Island Park now. We can't start paving part of our parks. That's really probably not an option. So I think we also have to consider the fact that we do have a big recreation fund. So there is money in a fund to do what needs to be done to create a dog park. So because we have this recreation fund that we have used this far only for a couple of swing sets. So we do have some funds to create parking places and to create fencing and to do some landscaping. So that's a good thing. It's not as if, I mean, we have a terrible COVID budget crunch, but we do have this allocation of money that can only be used for recreational opportunities. So.
Well, that's some great insight from the committee. I appreciate that. The one, and I certainly understand that Greenhaven spot is like the Wild West out there. So that would be quite a clearing, where the other one is already cleared. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, great.
So
So
that's where we're at. We have to meet again and go over everything.
Yep.
And I forgot, what's we are meeting
I
again.
think
what,
we're
the
meeting
15th?
on the 15th.
The 15th.
Yeah, and we're gonna meet with Jerry too. Jerry will be there too, so.
Nora, do you happen to know how much money's in that fund?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot.
I think we're about 440,000 right now, something like
Wow.
that.
Just for a
Oh,
gun
no,
That's not
well,
just for
you
a
know,
dog
I
park.
don't know. That might be something that could be used for a gun room. I mean, so it's the fees that get charged per unit when buildings are being developed.
Well,
So
anyway,
it's
it's a
but I
great
mean, we've been
number to know.
doing
Thank
this
you,
and
Nora.
saving it. And so it's great that we have this, especially now when things are so tight. It's great. So we're putting 2 sets of swings in Columbus Park. It's the only park that doesn't have swings. So, you know,
That's
we're putting
great.
some swings. Yep.
Thank you, Nora, for telling us that. So listen,
Well,
so
I
when the
didn't
committee
know.
meets
I
after,
tell you.
Hopefully after the subcommittee meets again about the dog park, we'll be able
Okay.
to come back
thank you.
to the Parks and Rec
Okay.
and say, this is what we think is the best option.
Terrific. Sounds like we have some movers and shakers on that committee. Small committees with people that are movers and shakers.
Movers and
already
shakers
have
and
an-
walkers.
And
People
already have an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
People, I love Excel. Excel's the best. So, but yes, I think everyone on the committee really wants to make it happen this time. And, you know, because it just seems to be a cycle of it gets talked about and then it kind of fades away until
there's
somebody brings
Dan.
it up again. And so
Hi, Dan.
I think we're going to,
Oh, and
Hi, Dan.
just so you know, there was a misscheduling. So the Dogs in Harbor Island Park is going to be on the agenda for next Tuesday, because Monday is Columbus Day, so we're meeting on Tuesday. So the public hearing is. So come and share the, you know, come and make your comments
Nora, what's the public hearing going to be on? Just on?
on the proposed law for expanding the ability for dogs to be in Harbor Island Park for longer periods of time on leash. But
Okay, so I think everyone who's on the subcommittee who has a voice who wants to be heard, that's a very good forum because, you know, all the naysayers will be there. So it's nice if some
Maybe-
and
positive.
that's going to be on 10/13,
at 10,
right?
yeah,
10/13.
Tuesday's the 13th. Yeah, 10/13, 7:30.
Thank you, Nora.
7:30. And it's still
there a
all,
link?
it's still all through Zoom, right?
So all through Zoom.
Nothing in person.
Will we be able to get a link or we just log in
You just
from the website?
I think the easiest way to do it is to go to the village website and go to the
Right.
calendar, which is at the top right, and click
Uh-huh.
on the meeting, and then you can get to it right from the meeting notice. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'll try to remind you guys.
That would be great
Okay,
because I'd like
thank
to
you.
share that with the Facebook page that I have for a dog park in Mamaroneck, because I think it would be great to let all those people know. I know they're all anxious for an update and kind of let them know that that meeting's going to happen. So maybe
Okay.
they'll be available to join in and be a vote yes.
So you can copy that link onto your Facebook page.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
then
you
I'll
can.
definitely
It's like
do that.
It's a
It's like-
URL.
yeah, it will let you in exactly what you did tonight is what will happen.
Right.
That shouldn't have happened to you tonight, but
Right.
that's what would have happened. You'll go in and then when they go to the public hearing, the trustees will ask to be unmuted so people can speak, and they'll bring you in to talk.
And so on Friday night, the agenda will be posted to the website, and then the agenda will have a link to the actual law. So just if I don't remind you, just let me, I can send that to you so people can actually see what you've all seen the law because you've forwarded it to the Board of Trustees, but the
Right.
law will be up on the website for people to read.
Sounds good.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, so if there's nothing else, anything else? Any other comments?
Oh,
Jason,
Oh, actually, there was one other person who asked to be on, we were supposed to discuss this. Gina Von Eyck had expressed an interest in being on the tree committee. Not the tree committee, on the dog park committee. So
The
maybe
dog
she can,
park
yeah,
committee,
maybe
right?
she can come to the meeting on Thursday.
well, I
So-
thought we said no more people. So
I
I
don't know that we said that, but I mean, we had.
I don't want any more people because there were other people we said no to.
No, we
So-
didn't say no to anybody. We said there was one person who wanted to join, who did join, who asked to join, and then she dropped off. And so this is another person who's asked to join. We said we would talk about it tonight.
Okay, well, I'm not in favor of anybody else joining because the group is working so well.
I mean, that's fine. I think she's gonna have, will have a lot to say, and I think it would be beneficial to hear it, to hear it in part of the planning process, but.
Well, she'll have her time to talk whenever the law comes about. But, all right, so without any further ado, let's adjourn the meeting. I guess I need somebody to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn. I got here just in time.
Dan, a ringer. And a second,
Oh.
please? What?
if you have any agenda items that you want put on, please send it to me like a few weeks in advance. If there's anything that you guys want to discuss, let me know so we can put it on an agenda for the winter months, all right?
Put the dog park on because that we should have after our next meeting.
So we'll talk, yeah, I'll talk to you about that. We could put that on for November. I
Yeah.
have another person on, but if you guys have anything.
Oh, and there's also an opening, if anyone has anyone who wants to join,
Two.
please. You have
Two.
some names? We have two
There are
openings?
there are two openings.
Who's the other person?
No,
Emily resigned. and
Emily
who's-
resigned, but we were down one person.
Oh, okay.
We were
thank
already
you.
down one person. So it's capped at 11 and we have 9 right, which means you
Okay.
have, so it would be good to have, 2 more people.
Okay, so Dan made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Would someone like to make the second? Kristen. Okay, and so all those in favor?
I can't do
Okay.
it.
All right, so
I
that
agree.
was just about an hour.
Great.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Bye
Thank
all.
you.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.